Welcome to the Mind Over Miles podcast, where we talk about the powerful connection between movement and mental health. Tonight's episode, we have Big William. He's UK and Wales strongman. We're going to give him the opportunity to talk about his how his training helps him along with his mental health. So William, welcome along, and
thank you for having me.
So if you would like to talk about what comps you got coming up so far,
So I'm William Jones, 26. I'm a strongman from South Wales. Currently ranked 6th strongest man in the UK. My next competition is on the 24th of August, and that's Ultimate Wales' Strongest Man in Cardiff International Sports Campus.
So what do you get from lifting these heavy weights? Well,
pride, a lot of things really. Lifting weights to me is something massive because it gets me out of the house, takes my mind off other things as well, which is a great thing if you suffer with being alone and etc., you know.
So obviously it has has a positive impact on your mental health, and so it's obviously completely different to running, which obviously Miles Over Miles podcast is not just about running, it's about movement and mental health, so it works for you, as in like keeps you calm and chilled out, and
it's a massive thing, strongman, to me, because I like just to be around people, and that's what strongman is about, being around other strong men, training. That's what going to the gym is about, really, because gyms are always packed these days, but it's sort of like a family with strongman, especially where I train at the units. You know, we're all one big family there, and we all push each other on, which is absolutely amazing, I think, especially for mental health wise. Not that I suffer with mental health a lot, but we all have sad and down days and stuff, but getting to the gym every Sunday, meeting up with the boys, is definitely a highlight of the week if you've had a quite shit week, mentally, physically, with whatever that's going on in life, you know?
Yeah. So, obviously, endorphin releases, do you get endorphin releases from and dopamine hits from just doing basic weights, or do you have to, like, do the big stuff?
Well, it depends, because the more and more as you progress in strongman, you're not always going to be hitting these massive PBs like a 400 kilo deadlift or a massive overhead press. So it's sort of the little wins as well that give you massive dopamine hits. And it just makes you feel good about yourself. So it's like setting little goals. Because in your first year of just going to the gym, you will get your newbie gains. So all the time you're in big numbers and you're like, wow. But then as you progress, you sort of mature and realise, it's all about the little wins. Maybe just turning up and pushing the session as hard as possible. It doesn't have to be as heavy as possible, but just little stuff like that, and like setting little goals, like getting a rep PB or even like a little small weight increase PB. It all counts towards a massive goal at the end and getting towards that end goal, you know?
Yeah, so I remember when you done your 400 kilo deadlift, and I remember watching it and seeing how happy it was after it, and it was like, I had goosebumps and stuff, because I could see like how much it meant to you and stuff. So
that was a massive moment for me, because I've always been a really good deadlifter. Well, I say really good. My technique's not the greatest, but I've always been able to shift a heavy weight from A to B. Like I think my first deadlift was like 220 kilos, but in my mind I always had my eyes on pulling 400 kilos. So it was the little goals in between. Like I pulled 300 kilos like 4 months into the gym. And then 3 years later, I finally pulled 400 kilos, which was a massive tick, massive box ticked for myself, because it was such a big number that I really wanted. I know not many people in Wales have done it. So when I done that, it was a massive sense of pride as well, showing, this is what I can do, like.
Yeah, of course. But, and again, everybody's got their strengths and their weaknesses, and
of course.
You've been working on your weakness, which is your pressing. That's you've always said to me that's been your weakest, but you're coming on really good with that now.
Yes, it's getting there. It's just it's one of those things. Like I don't like to make up excuses of having really long arms and just stuff like that, because there's a lot of people like Tom Stoltman. There's a boy I train with, Jamie. He's got really long arms. there's a lot of open strongmen who have long arms, and they seem to be pressing okay. But I think for me, it's more of a mental block than anything. Like, I definitely have the fundamentals to press a big overhead. Like with an axle press, it's a little bit different. I'm pretty good at axle press, but it's just something with a log that doesn't click. So it's definitely a mental hurdle I need to get over. And I'm slowly conquering that hurdle as we speak. Like, I'm just turning up, pressing all the time, and I'm making sure I'm ticking those boxes, because that's the only way you're going to get over anything, is if you face it head on, you know?
Yeah, I seen on Insta yesterday, you put up, you put a post up pressing yesterday and stuff, so it's something you work on all the time.
Oh, yeah, 3 times a week, all the time for the past year and a half. Yeah, my log have increased massively. I've sort of hit a standstill again, but I'm just waiting for that next big jump now, which will either be 160 or 165, you know? And then I can start looking again into the bigger weights then, because...
Just get more confidence.
Yeah, of course. It's a massive confidence thing, log is with me anyway. You got to learn to, like in the gym, especially with strongman, if you don't enjoy a movement, then you're not going to do that well at it. So that was my biggest issue for a long time, was I weren't enjoying doing it because I was so bad at it.
So is it due to stability, or do you feel unstable doing it, or do you feel like you're
No, it's just... I go to do overhead press, and I don't know, it's just like the energy gets zapped out of me. I'm just like, anything else I'm raring to go. It's just because I've been bad at it for so long, it's really hard to overcome that. But I'm starting to enjoy it again now, which is when I'll start seeing progress. But, you know, if it was Atlas stones or farmers, anything, I'm ready to go for it. It's just overhead presses. Always been a mental block for me, which is horrible.
So obviously, I've known you since since you was
a very long time.
Yeah, since you was about 15. How old were you when you started boxing?
Oh, I would have been 14, 15,
yeah,
something like
so,
that. Maybe
so
13.
I met you first at the boxing gym.
Yeah.
The first time I met you, and you was a little bit of a wild one.
Yeah.
A lot of cheek and
yeah.
But again, so obviously you progressed in boxing as well to have a couple of amateur fights and stuff. And, how did you find that worked for? Obviously, because I seen you just like an erratic, crazy little 14, 15. Well, not little, but you was a big lump. And, but yeah. So how do you think the boxing helped you to progress into your strongman stuff? Did you learn a lot of discipline?
100%. Discipline, working hard, no matter how you're feeling, is a massive thing, because you can go to the gym and you can lift weights. There's lifting weights, and then there's lifting weights, if you get what I'm trying to say. So you can go out and just do a casual workout, or you can go out and push hard, and it's the people excuse me, it's the people who push hard that actually progress. And that's something boxing taught me, because you really get no time off in a boxing gym, because you always got eyes on you, and the coaches and like someone like yourself, they're always pushing you on, so you don't really have time to rest, so you've got to work hard. So it taught me to work hard no matter what I'm doing, and it's taught me a lot of discipline as well.
Yeah.
With whatever I'm doing in life. I think boxing is amazing. Even if you don't want to fight, I think just going there and having that discipline will be amazing for any child if they're suffering with ADHD, autism, you know, any of these problems, or just a normal hyperactive child, you know. I think everyone should experience a sport that shows discipline and teaches discipline then.
100%, yeah. But I remember you always wanted to beat me up. And but unfortunately it never happened. So we won't try now. We won't try now. But no, you obviously boxing was like a big part of your sort of towards your later teen years. And growing up and obviously stepping into the big wide world. But I also remember at one of your amateur bouts, you suffered a bad blow to the eye, and I think it caused a bit of a concussion, if I remember.
That's right.
Obviously you come to me and said how you were feeling and stuff. Because I remember you were saying you were just having crying outbursts and stuff. And
it was horrible. It was my last amateur fight, actually. It was for the Welsh Vest, I think.
Didn't you cut your eye as well?
I cut my eyelid open there, it was a bit of a clash of heads, it was. And at first I thought I'd shattered my eye socket because you can't see through your eye. And I remember I went to the hospital after and they were like, oh, your eye's not responding and stuff. And it weren't actually the cut eye, it was my good eye that weren't responding. So I started to get a little bit worried. And then I was just majorly concussed for quite some time. Just over a little cut like that. It weren't little, I did have to have stitches and stuff. But I was concussed for a very long time. And I was more so getting in my own head. Like I couldn't be around people and stuff like that. Like lights would hurt my eyes and noises and stuff. But it was quite hard to get over. It didn't take too long, but I mean, it was about 2 months until I started feeling like myself again, which that's the horrible thing about concussion. If you get a severe concussion, it can last for a very, very long time.
Yeah. So
that's what I was worried about. But I was fortunate enough to just give my head a wobble and sort of shake it off, so to say.
But obviously, you've seen how long mine lasted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's different for everyone. I can sit here and say, just shake it off. But until you've been severely concussed, you won't know how that feels like.
Yeah.
Yes, not a nice feeling at all. It's really not a nice feeling.
How long did it take you to get back to boxing? Did you go back and spar again, or did you?
I went back and trained for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, this isn't for me anymore. I lost all love for it, and if I got that badly hurt from doing a sport I love, but I'm not getting no reward out of it. Yeah, I could have had the Welsh vest or whatever, but the year after, someone else is going to come win it, and my name's forgotten about. And I've always been someone, if I don't believe I can be the best in a sport or doing what I'm doing, then in my opinion, I don't think it's any point.
Yeah.
Because I got such a competitive nature about me. And like sitting down and really thinking about it after I hurt myself, I weren't going to be a heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not a genetic freak like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, or I'm not a technical master like Alexander Usyk and people like that,
Yeah, so it's like again, people like myself and yourself and stuff, when we grow up as kids and stuff, and like a lot of kids are like genetically very good at things.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And like people say to me, oh, it's okay for you can run and stuff, but again, nothing was handed to me.
No.
And the same with you as well.
Yeah, of course. Like, don't get me wrong, I have been blessed with great genetics for lifting weights and you could say doing strongman. I'm 6'3" and I got very, very strong and very fast fibers, very strong muscle, fast twitch fibers to output a lot of power into lifting. But I still got to work for it,
So was you strong when you first started strongman, or?
Yeah, I was pretty strong. I don't want to sound too big-headed, but yeah, I was pretty strong. Like deadlifting 220.
You wouldn't look at your old self now and say you were strong compared to what you're at now.
Oh, what I'm at now, yeah, of course, yeah, and I remember obviously I'd done 220 for my first deadlift, and someone come up to me in the gym and said, oh, you should try strongman. I was like, oh, I give it a go, because I went to the gym to lose weight, just get a little bit fitter, maybe filter back into boxing. But then someone suggested strongman, and I've always watched it growing up. I was like, oh, I'll give it a go, And I done my first competition, and I won it. I think I won every event as well, apart from one.
Did you do that over marks?
Yes, towards the end, the last 3 weeks, I got introduced to Mark and the lads of the unit, and they sort of helped me on for my first competition. I done that, I won it. I was like, this is pretty good. And then, so I was still training a little bit, and I got asked to do Wales' Strongest Man, and I done it, and that just changed everything for me. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or for as long as I can,
And again, you obviously got to take part in the UK Strongman recently.
That was amazing.
But that was a bit off the cuff as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Friday night. I think it was 11:30. Glenn Ross rang me and said, "Are you feeling ready?" And I was like, "I'm always pretty much thereabouts." Because you gotta be. And he was like, do you want to do UK Strongest Man Sunday? I was like, yeah, no problem, I'll be up on the Sunday.
So 2 days notice?
Yeah, 2 days notice pretty much. I didn't have time obviously to train. I had a day to get my stuff together, pack my bags, buy some stuff for the weekend. And then I was up there on the Sunday, and I came second in my group. out of 8 people, I think, or 6. I come second, and I qualified for the semi-finals. I come third in that group, and that's what qualified me for the final.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was a
how
pretty
do you feel?
quick
What
process.
sort of so how do you feel coming 6 UK?
6, yeah.
So how did you
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. I'd say the happiest moment for me was doing day 1 and coming second in my group, and doing day 2 and coming third in my group. Those two were probably the pinnacle for me, because to qualify for the final of my first UK Strongest Man without training, I was just over the moon. I was speaking to one of the boys, Jamie, and I was saying, no matter what, where we come in this final, like, we've made it to the final on our first UKs, and I've pretty much made it here without training any of the events for it. But yeah, coming 6, so we weren't last. I think, it was 8 people in the final, so I came 6. I weren't that far off 5th either. I was a good few points away, but a few events let me down, which is my own problem, my own weaknesses.
What was those events?
It was log press let me down.
Right.
Incline log press, it was 150. I didn't get a rep, so I took a massive blow on there where everyone else was getting 4 to 5. I think the winner got 10, Chris Beetham. And so that let me down massively. And also just being a little bit slower on a few of the events, because they were, a lot of them were new to me. Like tire flip, I've done it a little bit in the gym, but I've only ever done it once in competition. Keg loading, I've never done.
I watched the tire flip.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, you were strong enough.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. I thought I had a great time until the second lot of boys went out, and they beat us all by like 10 seconds.
And obviously the keg, you took a tumble as well.
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah, I got to the end, and I just had nothing in me. But that was the last event, and I was like, I may as well go out here and do as much as possible, you know?
Do you think that was fatigue from the whole...
Oh, massively, yeah. Your body's so broken. People don't respect Glenn's Ultimate's UK Strongest Man enough. It's probably one of the hardest shows out there, because it is a 3-day back-to-back show. Nowadays the events are lighter, because back 10 years ago, you'd have like a 500 kilo yoke, 160 farmers now, but it's a lot lighter nowadays. But it's still a tough
still
show.
Active, you still got to push.
Yeah, and you've got to push very hard on the moving events, because they are lighter. A lot of the smaller guys will make up points on them. So you as a bigger guy, you've got to try and beat everyone, to be a winner.
Yeah, so do you know your sort of movement stuff? Mm-hmm. How do you train for obviously your movements, for obviously your fast sort of...
It's
faster events like the keg and stuff.
Yeah, it's just doing that specific movement in the gym, and because a strongman nowadays, you haven't got to be a static 180 kilo monster. You can be a lot lighter. We're more athletes nowadays than we were 10 years ago, say. I'm pretty blessed I've always been pretty good at any moving event, no matter what it is. Could be farmers, sandbag, and anything like that. I've always been pretty good at moving, but you still got to train it really hard and just train in that specific event. So if we got like Husserl carry, you just train in the gym, and like the gym I'm at, the units, we always invest. So if we got, I don't know, say we got a 180 kilo Husserl in a comp, for example, we'd go out, like the three lads and main boys who were doing that comp, we'd all chip in and buy a 180 kilo Husserl bag. Like, that's the great thing about the units, is no matter what's in comp, we always replicate it as best as possible.
Yeah, which is what
yeah, of course.
There's no excuses then, is there?
No excuses. I mean, if you lose on the day, you lose on the day,
Yeah, exactly. So, how's your diet, Will? What do you eat? Do you eat everything and anything, or are you a clean eater, or are you? How would you roll with your diet?
So, I used to a lot when I first started. I was like, I think at one point I was 175 kilos. I was big lump. Like, it'd be like, I'd get up in the morning, I'd have like 10 eggs and bacon and sausages and stuff like that.
Was it hard to eat that much? Or?
Yeah, yeah. Well, at the time when you're doing it just to be greedy, it's not that hard. But now, looking back now, I could never do that now. Now I'm on about 5,500 calories, 340 grams of protein. The meals are a lot more cleaner now, so it's like I'll have a smoothie in the morning with 4 eggs and sourdough bread, and then I'll have like chicken breasts and rice. And
So obviously now it's
a lot more
professional.
Yeah, a lot more cleaner. Since I've gone on board with, like, I've got nutritionists in and my coach as well, my strength coach, Tom.
Yeah.
Like, my life, I'm trying to be more of a professional athlete, whereas before, when you just start, I was like a bull in a china shop. I was eating everything and doing everything I could, and I was just constantly always pushing weights, but that's not the correct way to go about it now anyway, because I could get injured.
So sponsors, you got people on board. Obviously, I know you got your dad, which obviously he's a mega support.
Oh yeah, I've had so much support off loads of people. My father have been there since day one. David Hill and son have been here since day one.
Yeah.
I got a protein sponsor as well, 10X. They have been great with me. There's a lot of support. I'm very fortunate enough to, since I started, I've pretty much had support off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately a lot of people don't get that support. So and the main thing is such an expensive sport, strongman, for the rewards we get. Like, we don't do it for money. We do it for ourselves.
Yeah,
we want to be the strongest man in Wales or the strongest man in the world. So money's really non-existent in strongman anyway. It's not a lot. But like I said, we don't do it for that. So sponsors help us out massively. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for all my sponsors, because if it weren't for them, then I wouldn't be as good as I am today, being able to buy all the food I need, buy equipment when I need it, so sponsors come massively into play in strongman.
Yeah, and obviously I'm good mates with your dad. And obviously, I know how close, well, he's your biggest fan, isn't he? He is like your biggest supporter.
He is. I couldn't ask for anyone better in my corner than my father. He's been to every show, everything. He's just been absolutely amazing, and it's a lot to do with him as well. I wouldn't be such a good athlete or good man now if it weren't for my father and the way he brought me up and stuff. He brought me up to be respectful, and don't get me wrong, we all still lose our heads sometimes.
Even though he was a lunatic.
Yeah. Even though I was a bit of a boy, we all shout and get angry sometimes, but it's always my father to keep me earth and grounded, and I do. We do argue sometimes, we do clash, but it's very rare these days because I've obviously grown up myself. When I was younger,
You haven't. But yeah, no, obviously, like I say, I follow your stuff as well. I love it because I love seeing your progression and I love seeing your determination and stuff and how driven you are. And again, I think we spoke the other day and said that nobody really appreciates the work that goes into. Everybody just thinks you wake up and you're just strong. Nobody sees what happens behind the scenes. Nobody sees the failures. Nobody sees how you try something, how you get knocked back, and then you got to keep going. It's emotionally draining as well. I bet, as well as you like I say, you're not just getting these dopamine hits every time you go to the gym. You get more failures than.
Yeah, of course. I like a lot of people. Like, especially with social media, people, I do it myself. I only upload when I'm doing really well in training. But there are, bad times every week. Every week we're out fail. You might have bad session here and there. You might fail a lift. So you no matter what you're doing, you are going to have ups and downs with doing what you're doing. You are going to fail a lot of times, like everyone does. No matter who you are, you could be Tyson Fury or Eddie Hall. Everyone does fail at one point on the ladder of getting to their end goal. So it's a massive thing, and social media, people on social media don't put that out there, which is I do get it in a way, because at the end of the day, if you're failing, it doesn't look too good on social media, does it, for many people?
But again, like you say, do you mean we have to fail to grow?
Of course, yeah, of course.
I say, do you mean I love, and again, I think we mentioned this the other day, we love being humbled. And
massively, yeah. It's humbling it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So in my first year, when I got invited to Wales Strongest Man, I done it, and I was on top of the world. Like, I thought, I'm going to go off from here. I'm going to win Wales' Strongest Man, and I'm going to win UK's and do this and that. And then I done, there's another Wales' Strongest Man, the Giants Live one. So I done that a couple of months after the Ultimate Wales' Strongest Man, and I came like 11th. And I was like, wow, you know, that humbled me massively. I was like, I'm not as good as I thought.
So what did you learn from that?
I learned that stop being so big-headed, stop being so brash, and just get to the gym and work hard. That's what I learned from that. And I just really work hard and work on your weaknesses and stop telling and stop thinking you're the best thing since sliced bread, because 9 times 10 you're really not.
There's always better people out there.
There's always better people out there. Like, even if you're world's strongest man, you know, you can always be better, and you can always work on a lot of weaknesses. And, you know, so that's what being humble taught me, was sort your head out and train hard.
Did that teach you to be a little bit more disciplined in life as well?
Oh, of course, because, I mean, before that, you know, my training was erratic. Like, I'd go in and I'd lift like heavy weights 6 times a week, and I'd eat McDonald's and, and all this, and drink full fat Coke, drink like 6-7 Monsters a day. But after I got humbled, I was like, right, okay, I need to sit down now and really think about what I'm doing. So I got a nutritionist. Obviously, Mark was helping me out with the coaching at the time. And I just started to progress from there then. You know, I started to get better and better. And then I parted ways with Mark and went with Tom Ibbott. And I started to progress again. So I've never really come to a massive standstill, because I've always really, since I got humbled, I've always really trained as hard as possible. Don't get me wrong, some days I go in the gym and I'll do like 2 exercises. I'm like, oh, I'm really not feeling it today. So I just call it a day and go home. You know, we're only human and we're not machines. We do have feelings, and and our bodies do break down, and sometimes you just can't do it all, you know? So, you know, not every day I train really, really hard, but 9 times out of 10 I will push my body, because to be the best, you have got to put in the work. Like, you know, it don't come overnight.
Something that I've realised lately is I've had a lot of people tell me for ages I need to learn to recover, and it's one thing that I haven't done. And again, I just like fall apart and it breaks, and it's just like every time I go out and try and run, and then I'm not hitting where I need to be or running as far as I need to do, then again, humbles me and puts me right back to the beginning. And I think his lessons, there's a lot of lessons in falling apart.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, recovery is so important. Again, make sure you're getting sports massages and hitting your hot and cold and doing whatever you can to recover. I learned off Eddie Hall, like watching his documentaries. He was 90% recovery, 10% training, you know what I mean? Like sort of like that, like the guy would train like an absolute freak, but he would recover like an absolute freak as well. Hyperbaric chamber, red light therapy, needling, sports massage every day, you know? And that's why he was so good, you know? Everything was to a T and on point. And if only every athlete could live like that. Because it's a very expensive lifestyle as well to try and live like that, you know? But he made sacrifices to live that life, and I mean, it's paid off for him, hasn't it?
What advice would you give the youngsters up and coming, not just to get into strongman, but just to get into any sport? What would your advice be?
Find a sport you love, try a few sports out, and the sport you love will come to you, definitely. And if you really want to succeed in it, chuck all your eggs into it. Put all your eggs into that one basket and give it 110%. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you will do something special if you just train and give 100% effort every time.
So how do you think your mental health would have been, obviously, as you were, like, obviously growing up and stuff? And how do you think your mental health would have been if it wasn't for you, obviously, taking part in a sport?
It would probably be a lot different, yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say I suffer with mental health, but I do get down days, like everyone, you know, we're only human. But my mindset would probably be a lot different now if I never, say, went boxing that day and learned a little bit of discipline or et cetera, you know, I'd be a lot different now. I think going to the gym is definitely my happy place. And I get really thrown off and spun out if I'm not in the gym or I'm not doing something that involves strongman, because it is my life, you know. And I know people are like, oh yeah, but you got to treat it as a hobby. I don't see it as a hobby. I see it as my life. Like it's been a big part of my life. Yeah, it's a purpose in my life. You know, I want to be the best, and I'm fortunate enough where I can sort of treat it like a full-time job as well. So just being in the gym helps me mentally, massively. You know, I don't like being on my own. That's one big thing with me. I like being around people. Okay. So I think doing any sport that involves, like, if you're like me and you like to be around people, doing any, like, boxing, strongman, like-minded people, you know. I've always been a little bit different since I've been a kid. Like, I've always struggled to fit in places and stuff, but I've definitely found somewhere where I can fit in now, like with strongman, and because we're all the same, really, you know.
Yeah, we're all looking for that something.
Yeah, you know, and strongman is that something. But like, going back onto the mental health point, I think mental health would be a lot. I probably would suffer a lot more mentally if I didn't have a sport to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be a lot more down in the dumps.
Is it because you probably would have been isolated a lot more? Like,
yeah, I think so. And like, also going out drinking on weekends and stuff, which really isn't good for your mental state. Don't get me wrong, I do like a few beers now and again. Everyone's entitled to do what they want, you know. But having that discipline in strongman, like, I can't come out for a beer this week. I'm competing in 2 weeks, you know.
Yeah.
That's definitely saved me mentally, because when I was a little bit younger, from 18 to about 21...
Just wanted to scrap.
I just used to like going out on the beer and every weekend, and
just wanted to fight.
Yeah, looking for, I don't know, like, just looking to start arguments and stuff. Maybe it was something to do with me. It was definitely a me problem, you know. And I weren't a bully or anything, because I was bullied quite heavily as a child as well. But I don't know, maybe it was like just a personal vendetta I had against the world, you know, after a few beers. But it's so mental now, because I go out now and I'm a complete different person. Good. It's pointless fighting and stuff like that. Where does it get you, you know? Of course, gets you a thick lip in the morning and that's about it. And
a headache.
Yeah, and a headache, you know, and it's really pointless. And maybe I was just young and naive, you know. I didn't understand anything at that point. That's all I knew was to go to work and then go out for a few beers on the weekend with my friends. It's good looking back. Like, we made some good memories and stuff, but I mean, what's the point? I don't want to be 40 years old, you know, still going out with my mates every weekend. I want to make something of myself, you know. I want to be a name, you know. I want to be someone, and you're not gonna be someone by going out every weekend, do you?
So you've got good support of your family as well. Mm-hmm. Like you say, your dad is like your biggest fan.
Yeah.
I think your sister absolutely loves everything you do.
Yeah.
You know, your brother is like a big part of your
my brother is massive.
Because he does it as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he done it for he actually introduced me to the gym, and I give my brother a lot of credit for what I've not achieved recently, but in the early days of, like, I had a quite big ego, and he'd always know how to keep me grounded. And if it weren't for him, you know, I would have gone off the rails and probably injured myself and stuff like that. Like, my brother's a massive part of my life. Like, when we were a little bit younger, like, we didn't really talk, but we found the gym something we both, and it just brought us together.
That's bliss.
And yeah, it's amazing, and we talk all the time. And yeah, he's one of my biggest supporters as well. And I thank him a lot for what he's done for me, you know, getting me into the gym and turning me from a 175 kilo overweight man to, you know, a slim 135, you know. He's just done a lot for me, you know. Mentally he's done a lot for me as well, because I was a very shy, unconfident person when I first went to the gym, and he was always there for me, pushing me on and stuff. And then I came out of my shell more, and I do put a lot of that down to him as well. You know, he actually coached us at the beginning, you know, and I won my first comp, you know, with his help and just stuff along those lines, you know. He's an amazing person, my brother is.
But again, just creating memories as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, you know, we got loads of memories. Like, you know, we've been up to Chester competing together. We've been loads of places, you know, and if it weren't for my brother, then who knows? Perhaps I wouldn't have been a strong man. If it weren't for him nagging me to come to the gym one Wednesday night, well, I might not even be sat here right now, you know?
It's crazy.
So it's mad how life works, isn't it?
So obviously you're on Instagram and you're on socials. Have you got socials for people to follow you, or
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's William_Spencer_strongman. That's only the real. You can add me on Facebook, William Jones, but all my videos pretty much go on my Instagram. Same as my TikTok as well. It's Will_Spencer_strongman. Yeah.
And I know you're quite happy to, if anybody wants to reach out and ask you any questions.
Yeah,
stuff,
of course. I mean, that's the love of strongman. No matter who you are, 9 times out of 10, strongmen will answer you if you need advice on anything. Like, it's such an amazing sport, and if you are into lifting weights, then you should definitely have a little try of strongman, because we're always looking for new Welsh athletes. You know, it's becoming a little bit of a dying sport in Wales, but it's such a great sport to be a part of. It is an amazing sport to be a part of, mentally and physically. You know, it can change. It's changed my life, and it can change a lot of people's lives. You know.
Yeah. So, is the Wales Strongman going to be televised, or?
I think it will be on ITV next year. So they always do it's pre-recorded.
So where's it taking place?
It's in Cardiff International Sports Campus on the 24th.
People can buy tickets for that?
Yeah, you can buy tickets for that. Yeah, I think they're on Eventbrite. If you use code Jones10, you can get some money off. It's going to be a great show. There's loads and loads of good Welsh athletes this year. I think there's 14 of us this year. So it's going to be one battle for that title, you know.
Well, I wish you the best of luck as
thank
always.
You very much, Carl.
And you know, I'm a big fan as well.
Yeah,
and,
too right.
Yeah, always want the best.
Amazing.
For you, and,
thank you, Carl. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for coming on.
You too. Thank you for having me, buddy.
So if anybody wants to follow William, check out his Instagram and his Facebook, and if you want to pop him any questions, and just send them over. I don't think you can get a sensible one out of him, but but feel free to send any messages over to William, and once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Amazing.